name in the Bible, name in the Bible, name in the Bible that starts with J. Jesus.
Joseph.
Starts with J.
Jonah.
Starts with J. Jacob. J.
Jezebel.
Starts with J.
Josiah.
That starts with J. Jacob. No, I already said
Yes!
Welcome back, everyone, to Unscripted. It is so good to see you again. Peter, Rio, how have you guys been?
Doing great.
So good.
Excited for week 6 of term 4.
Amazing.
No, it's been awesome. Actually, this past week, I have been doing a little bit of study myself. So I don't know if you guys ever did film and TV school like classes, but I have been like diving deep into like movie analysis.
True.
And the movie that I've been looking at is How to Train Your Dragon, which is like my favorite movie of all time. I can rave about the music all week, literally.
Did you hear there's a live action one coming
Yes,
out in
I don't know
a few
how I
years'
feel
time?
about that. I think
I'm very excited.
I think, look, they have to do it justice because, like, that's my favorite.
Absolutely.
Real people, real
Real
people,
people.
real
people
dragons.
and real
Dragons. We're gonna get real guys.
Where are they getting the dragons from?
Real dragons.
Someone tell me where to get the dragons from.
So this week we have a Bible story coming up later, talking about the Last Supper, which is really exciting. Then we have another Get It Done challenge. We don't really know what's going on there, but really excited for it.
be a good game.
And then right now we're gonna head over to a preach, so let's head over there now.
Okay, so every year we celebrate a birthday. My birthday. I love it. Every year in October, we all gather, all my friends, we hang out and we celebrate my birthday. I'm getting old. I'm nearly 40. A couple more years, 40 years old. It's a scary birthday that's coming up. But every year when people in my world stop, take a moment to pause, and do something deliberately to celebrate and remember me, it makes me feel amazing. It makes me feel loved, cared for. And I know that when I do the same for the people in my world, like my kids and my wife and my friends, when I stop whatever it is that I'm doing and take a moment to celebrate that person, it's an important moment. And what it does for me is it makes me pause and stop and think, you know what, is the way I'm living my life putting that person first, or am I putting myself first above them? Am I being selfish, or am I putting others first? And the reason that's an important question to ask yourself is because the way we live our lives in regards to who we put in that place of priority in our lives will determine the sort of decisions we make. You see, I know for me, there were times in my life where 100% I was the king of the hill. I was the person at the top of my life, the most important person. And what that meant was every decision I made when it came to my kindness, my friendship, the way I lived, it was always about me. And so if someone was being mean, I would bite back and put them down. If someone was competing against me with something at school, I would do whatever I needed to, even if it meant sabotaging what they were doing for me to win, because I was at the point of priority in my life. But what would it look like if it wasn't you or me in that spot of priority in our lives? Who is the king of the hill in our lives? And so I was reading my Bible and I was mulling over what this looks like, and I thought, well, what would it look like to put Jesus in that spot of authority in my life, that spot of priority, the most important person? All of a sudden, I'm not trying to make me happy, I'm trying to make Jesus happy. I'm putting him first. And I realized when someone's being mean to me, how does Jesus want me to respond to that person? When someone is being kind to me, how does Jesus want me to respond to that person? When someone says sorry to me, how does Jesus want me to respond to that person? Whatever the different situation you have. Because I guarantee if you take a moment and stop, and you think back on maybe some of the interactions you've had with close friends, every single one of us, I guarantee, will have those moments where we say, I wish I could take that thing back. Maybe it was something you did, maybe it was something you said. You see, today I want to take a moment and talk about what it means to put Jesus in that spot of priority in our life, the most important person. Not just because he loves us and he wants us to put him first, but also because it flows onto every other decision we make. And so there's a point in the Bible where Jesus is having an interaction with his disciples, and Jesus knows what's about to happen. He's about to go to the cross. He's about to give his life as a sacrifice to save us all. And so he's having this last meal with his disciples. We call it the Last Supper. And he takes a moment and he does something that you can pass over really quickly if you don't pause and think about it. But we call it communion. Different denominations of churches call it different things. we're going to talk about what that is, and we're going to talk about why it helps us to keep Jesus in that place of authority and priority in our lives. But we'll talk about that in just a moment.
Guys, welcome back to Get It Done. Here we have another game in my hands. It is game show time. What we do is one person describes what's on these cards, and the other two have to guess the word. Whoever gets it first gets the point, and the describer that describes it correctly also gets a point. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense? All right.
Makes sense.
Great. Noah, you want to go first?
I would
You
love
describe
to go first.
Rhea and I are guessing. We get 30 seconds to describe as many as we can, and then we swap plays.
Love it.
Let's do it.
All right.
It's time for Get It Done. 3, 2, 1, go.
Alrighty.
All right, it is a thing that you consume through your mouth hole, and it is from the Mexican genre of
Burrito?
food. Yes.
What?
It's a burrito.
I would.
Burrito.
Oh, it's like smartness, but on another level.
Intelligent.
I like that, but no, it's like more what
Big
King
brain.
Solomon had.
Big brain.
No,
Intellectual.
no, King Solomon, he was.
Power.
Rich.
No, he. Come on, people. He like said, "Oh God, give me
Wise.
one thing."
Wisdom.
Yes.
Yes!
Strawberry,
Oh,
that's-
I'm actually stoked.
That's
Yes!
So we got one each.
I got 2. I'm happy
He's
with
got
that.
2.
2 start. That's good.
All right,
Excellent.
one each
I'm
on
happy.
our end.
All right,
Bang.
my turn. Ready? 3,
Alright,
2,
go.
1, go. Okay, it's you put it in the freezer and it gives you like cold water.
Water.
Ice cream.
No.
Oh,
It's
ice.
like- yeah, but what do you put that in?
Soda.
No, no.
Ice
drink.
holder.
Yes, there's a word for it. It's like
It's an ice holder.
no, yeah.
Ice cream tray.
Yeah, that's the one. Okay.
Bang.
Boom. All right, one point. Let's do it. Okay. This dude had long hair. This dude.
Oh, Solomon.
No. What?
What?
No, he had big
Rapunzel.
muscles. Yeah, big muscles.
Oh.
He was strong.
Samson.
Yeah, there's a Samson.
Oh, Samson.
All right, well done. Okay.
Oh, 30 seconds is quick, man.
That's quick. That's actually quick.
I like
Why
this.
am I embarrassed? I didn't know that was.
2, 1, go.
Okay. All right. It's something that floats up in the air, but you can sit in it. You can kind of go in
plane?
it, and then you can go up in it.
Roller coaster.
But it's like a
Hot air balloon.
yes.
Oh, that was good.
All right. Okay. So it's in the Bible. David was kind of
King,
a
shepherd.
but he's shepherding.
Sheep.
Kind of, but if they are
Baby sheep?
somewhere
Flock.
else.
A fool.
No.
Watching the
field.
sheep.
No. Jesus goes
Shepherd?
after them.
The
lost
lost
sheep.
sheep.
Yes!
Oh, you.
No, you got that first.
No,
I reckon you got that
I
first.
reckon you got that.
Okay.
You got it.
That's time.
Oh, no! This is
Wait.
why you're not generous on a game show.
How many?
Ah!
All
I
right.
think we all got pretty good amount. How many we got? I got
I
1.
did not get a lot.
Guys, I got 5.
I've got 3.
I got 4.
I'll win, baby!
Way. No way.
Big dubs.
Not loving
I actually
that.
thought Noah
Big
won that
dubs.
one.
I was so.
I was actually really confident you won that.
Good game,
Wow,
guys.
good game.
Good game,
Good
mate.
game.
Hey,
Well,
good
that's
game.
it for.
No.
You know what? Thank you so much, guys, for joining us for another Get It Done. This week was awesome. I loved winning. Let's go check out this week's Bible story.
While Jesus was here on earth traveling and teaching, he called 12 men to follow him to become his disciples. And as the time drew near for Jesus' ministry to end and for him to go back to heaven, he sat down with his disciples to share a last meal that we now call the Last Supper. We can read about this in the book of Matthew in the New Testament of the Bible. This final meal that Jesus shared with his disciples was just before he was arrested and crucified on the cross, and it happened during a festival called Passover, which was an important moment in the Jewish calendar. During the meal, Jesus did something that would impact Christians from that day forward. Jesus took some bread, broke it, gave thanks to God, and then gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take and eat this, for this is my body." Then he took a cup of wine, gave thanks, and gave it again to his disciples, saying, "Drink from this, all of you. This is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for the forgiveness of sins." The disciples ate the bread and drank the wine with Jesus. Jesus told the disciples to do this act of eating the bread and drinking the wine to remember him. He also said that this was the last time that he would share the cup and the bread with his disciples until they were all together again in paradise. After the meal, they sang a hymn together and then traveled to the Mount of Olives, where Jesus would soon face the most difficult part of his mission on earth, And from this moment forward, Christians all around the world have been doing this to remember Jesus, his sacrifice, and what he did to bring us salvation, allowing us to be friends with God again. The thing I love about this story is that Jesus takes this moment and he's at a table like what I'm sitting. This table I'm sitting at now seats 12 or 13 people quite comfortably. And so Jesus is sitting with his disciples and they're all hanging out. They're celebrating the Passover. So like this is a festival they would have already been celebrating most years because it was on the Jewish calendar. And yet Jesus then grabs some bread. He breaks it and says, "This is my body broken for you." And so the disciples all eat it. And I could imagine being one of the disciples. It's like, they don't know what's about to happen. So they're like, "Wait, what was that? That was weird. This is your body? Cool. It looks like bread to me, but great. Eat the food." Jesus takes some of the wine and says, "This is my blood poured out for the forgiveness of your sins. Drink this." And so they'll drink it. And Jesus says, "I'm not going to eat or drink of this again until I do it with you again in paradise. But you, do this." Take the bread and the wine. "Do this in remembrance of me." Do this to remember what I am about to do. And so all through history for the last, 2,000 years since that moment in time, Christians all over the world have taken time, sometimes daily, sometimes weekly, sometimes monthly, depending on what church you're from or what denomination you're a part of, with different names. We take this moment and we stop and we take some bread and we take maybe some grape juice, whatever it is that your church takes. And it's not just because we're giving you guys a snack on a Sunday. No, that's not what it is. It's a moment to pause from the busyness of our lives and remember Jesus. That the whole point of why he did what he did was to remind us that he's the one that's meant to be sitting on the throne of our lives. He's the one who's meant to be in that place of priority and authority because he took the price for our sin. He did everything for us. And the least we can do is put him first. And just like we pause every year to celebrate a birthday, you don't just let it go by, you stop and you deliberately put that person first. I think the idea of stopping and taking communion, whatever that looks like for you, it's a moment to think, am I living my life in a way where I'm the priority in my life and so everything is all about self-serving and putting me first? Or is it about putting Jesus first and putting him at the center of everything I think, of everything I do, and every decision I make? And so today, why don't you pause? Think about who is that person sitting on the king of the hill in your life? Is it you or is it Jesus? And so next time you do take communion, whether it's at church or school, whatever that looks like, remember that it's not just a random thing we do. It's a moment to remember the gift that Jesus gave to forgive us of our sins, to make a way for us to be friends with God again. And a moment to pause and think, who is the king of the hill in my life?
Wow, what an awesome message, guys.
So
I feel like I learned a lot, and I feel like I now have a greater understanding about what communion is. I hope that you guys learned that as well. Pete, what do you think of today's episode?
I won, baby! And I
Yeah.
totally didn't write those prompts myself, so I memorized and remembered all of them.
Yeah, that's so
No,
true.
actually, I actually did. I know, I promise I did. I promise
Someone
I
had
did.
to think of the
I
prompts.
promise
Hey,
I
promise I did.
hey, we're calling for a judge here. If you write the
I
prompts,
actually didn't write it.
you know all of the answers.
He's really trying to defend himself.
No, I actually didn't. No, in my defense, I promise I didn't write it.
What I'm going to say is, how about we just get 2 points taken off Pete's score, just to even it out. Not disqualify you, but just 2 points. And then we just redo the math. 5 minus 2 is 3.
5.
And then I get 4, and then Rio gets... Oh! I won! Wow!
But more than the game, I really enjoyed the Bible story.
That's good, man. I
enjoyed
actually
the
like
Bible
that.
story.
I love the Bible
enjoyed
story as well. I love the Bible story.
Jesus
Love
Bible
it.
But anyway, guys, that is the end of today. Don't forget at the end of this video that we actually have questions, so make sure you check that out as well. And that is the end of our episode. Right now, I'm Rio,
I'm Peter.
And I'm Noah.
and this is...
Unscripted!
I always do the point thing.
Name in the Bible, name in the Bible, name in the Bible. It starts with D.
Daniel.
It starts with D.
Daniel.
David.
That starts with Diego. I was like, whoa. Diego.
Yes.